Welcome to the Introduction to FITBIR video. In this video, I will give an overview of FITBIR, discuss the consent language, GUID, CDEs, submission schedule and policy, next steps, and contact information. FITBIR stands for Federal Interagency Traumatic Brain Injury Research Informatics System. It is a collaborative biomedical informatics system designed to support research in traumatic brain injury to accelerate scientific discovery and treatment. The mission of FITBIR is accomplished by the definition of standards to enable cross-site meta-analysis and data comparisons, for example, NINDS, TBI, and CDEs, deployment of useful suite of tools, also known as BRICS, for community adoption, promotion for sharing quality research data throughout the traumatic brain injury research community, and a central repository and portal to phenotypic, genomic, imaging, and pedigree data. FITBIR is a collaboration between NINDS and the DoD. Our program directors are Dr. James B. Phillips from the DoD, Dr. Ensini Umo from NINDS, and on-site we have Dr. Matthew McAuliffe, who oversees the BRICS development. The Biomedical Research Informatics Computing System, also known as BRICS, is a set of software modules that help us create this system of interconnectivity and collaboration among the research communities. The different modules provide a combination of web-based functionality and downloaded tools that support data definition, data contribution, and data access throughout the research lifecycle. Let's go through each module. Data Dictionary. This module is used for defining and validating data. You can create, manage, search, and store data elements and form structures. Data Repository. This module is the central hub of the BRICS system, providing functionality for defining and managing information and for contributing, uploading, and storing the research data associated with each study. Subject Management. Subject management uses the Global Unique Identifier, or GUID, allowing researchers to share data specific to study participants. Participants can be correlated across studies without exposing personal identifiable information, or PII. Proforms. This module is a web-based data collection and research application organized by modules to help researchers manage individual studies, subjects, electronic case report forms, data collection, define electronic case report forms, schedule, and collect clinical data, and then export, analyze, and report on the data. Query Tool. This module allows users to search for studies and/or forms, join different forms, and filter data by any data element or value. Accounts. This module provides the tools for managing individual user accounts, profiles, privileges, roles, and passwords. Also, this is where you will submit your data access or data submission documents. With submitting data, there are three elements to keep in mind. First, consent and GUID. All human subject data must include a FITBIR GUID. Data submitted to FITBIR must not include PII. Second, CDEs. FITBIR contains templates for data submission utilizing TBI common data elements. The use of these forms is required, and any additional forms will require programmatic approval from DoD or NINDS. Third, complete data. All data collected on human subjects enrolled in the DoD or NIH-supported research are expected to be provided. The data must be detailed at individual level, not aggregated or summarized. For example, individual subscores that form a total score are required. Sample language has been developed for discussion of FITBIR and informed consent documents. For prospective studies, subject consent forms should include language similar to the following. All links with your identity will be removed from the data before they are shared. Only de-identified data, which does not include anything that might directly identify you, will be shared with FITBIR users and the general scientific community for research purposes. GUID, or Global Unique Identifier. This allows researchers to share data specific to study participants. It correlates participants across the studies without exposing PII. GUID generation compiles with HIPAA regulations for the protection of PII and PHI. FITBIR cannot accept data without the GUID. there is language that can be shared for the IRB. It is important to remember that PII is never stored within the FITBIR system. There are 8 pieces of information needed to generate a GUID. The complete legal given first name of the subject at birth, if the subject has a middle name, the complete legal family last name of the subject at birth, the day of birth, the month of birth, the year of birth, the name of the city or municipality in which the subject was born, and the country of birth. The GUID client is executed by the user. It requires a double data entry. There is an option for batch uploads, and the FITBIR team understands that the participant data needed to generate a GUID may not be available. To account for this, FITBIR provides the capability to generate pseudo-GUIDs. However, the creation of pseudo-GUIDs will need approval from the respective grant funding agencies. Common data elements were created by working groups in a formalized process in order to create standardized definitions and guidelines about the kinds of data that should be collected and how to collect the data in clinical studies for TBI. It is FITBIR policy that researchers conducting NIH and DoD-supported TBI human subject research are expected to use the TBI common data elements. In an effort to create standardized definitions and guidelines about the kinds of data that should be collected and how to collect the data in clinical studies of TBI. Core CDEs can be viewed as a foundation for all CDEs. They are important for data harmonization and data compatibility across multiple studies and multiple diseases. General Core. A data element that can be consistently collected across studies in any disease or therapeutic area. Disease Core. These data elements capture essential information relevant to any disease-specific study and represent a small subset of all available CDEs. Investigators are expected to collect data based on the disease-specific core CDEs. TBI core CDEs on FITBIR. NINDS CDE project defined a set of core CDEs to collect essential information applicable to any study. Examples of the general core CDEs and forms include basic demographic information and enrollment data collected from all study participants. Examples of disease-specific core CDEs for traumatic brain injury studies include the CDEs for the Glasgow Outcome Scale. On the FITBIR website, there's a list of TBI forms that study teams are expected to use for data submissions. All data is now expected to be submitted on an annual basis. The annual submission month will be determined through the coordination between FITBIR operations and your science officer or program officer. As of now, NIH clinical trials will follow the annual submission schedule. For DoD clinical trials, while submissions are required within a year from the end of their period of performance, study teams are strongly encouraged to engage with the FITBIR operations team. This would help gauge the level of effort needed for data submissions to FITBIR. There are 5 steps in the data submission process. The first step is sharing, which includes sharing the study's case report forms, also known as CRFs, with the FITBIR operations team, making sure the protocol and informed consent documents have FITBIR data sharing language, verifying that all PII required for the GUID tool is included in the study's IRB and is being collected. The second step is defining data, which includes cross-mapping data elements from CRFs with CDEs, identifying unique data elements known as UDEs. The third step is programmatic approval, which involves reaching out for programmatic approval to create UDEs and form structures. The fourth step is form structures, which involves creating UDE form structures using identified CDEs and UDEs. The fifth step is finalize, which includes cleaning up and curating data for upload. Attempt to pass validation before final upload. After the 5 steps are completed, the data can be uploaded into FITBIR. When all data has been submitted, the study closeout process can begin. There are 4 steps with the study closeout process. Confirm final submission to FITBIR, Additional validation checks are performed via automated scripts developed by FITBIR. Study closeout report is developed. Results are provided for each form structure submitted. Study team resolves items found during the study closeout process. A DOI, or Digital Object Identifier, is a unique alphanumeric code used to identify an article. A DOI will be assigned to the study after the first successful data submission to FITBIR. This DOI must be cited across all associated research study publications. Investigators are required to acknowledge the FITBIR informatics system in their research study publications. From the FITBIR public site, you can access videos, the portal and tools, SOPs, and policy and agreements. Your next steps are to review the FITBIR website, create a FITBIR account, review your protocol or informed consent documents, and cross-reference your data collections forms with the TBI forms. If you have any questions, please contact the FITBIR operations team. Thank you for watching.